Amish life is no doubt intriguing to the rest of us. From their devout faith to love for family, it's something we can all relate to. And in today's Page Turners, New York Times best-selling author is sharing stories of the Amish life. And her newest release takes readers back to a favorite series. Author Wanda Brunstetter is joining me now over Zoom. Wanda, we appreciate you being with us this afternoon.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Well, let's kind of start by sharing how you became kind of fascinated with the Amish culture.
Well, my husband grew up in a Mennonite church in Pennsylvania, and it was through one of his Mennonite friends that we met, and our first Amish couple that we got to know well. And I found out very quickly that they're not that different than us. Actually, they live a different lifestyle, but they also deal with the same issues we do as well. And as I got to know them, I decided that when I wanted to write about the Amish, which was going to be next on my list, I would show the reader, and hopefully show the reader, what the Amish are really like.
And you're really wanting people to connect with that, with the Amish, and maybe understand maybe their customs a little bit more.
Right. And we began to know many more Amish after the first initial couple. And now we have Amish friends in every community that I write about.
And tell me a little bit about this new book that you have, because it's actually, I guess, has 3 parts, and you got to work on it with your daughter and granddaughter. That must have been exciting.
Right. 2 years ago, we wrote a book called The Brides of the Big Valley. Now, the Big Valley is in Pennsylvania, in an area called the Big Valley, but it's in, probably the Midwest part of PA, in what is called Mifflin County, PA, where they have 3 distinct Amish groups, and they are known by the colors of their buggies. So it's a very interesting area to visit, and we got to know some Amish in that area. So that was what we wrote 2 years ago, and it was a very popular book. So we decided to do another one, and this one is called The Brides of the Big Valley.
Well, tell me a little bit about that book.
The Return to the Big Valley is what this one is. So there's 3 different stories, but they're all set in that same location again.
And can you give me kind of like the little synopsis or the Cliff Notes version of this one to encourage people to maybe want to check this one out?
Sure. I wrote the first book, and it's called Wilma's Wish. And Wilma has a little problem because she's engaged to marry a man. They're planning their wedding, and suddenly he becomes the caregiver for 5 very unruly boys. And the boys don't really care that much for her, so she's determining, do I or don't I want to marry this man? And then Martha's Miracle, which is written by my daughter-in-law, Jean. Martha's different than other Amish women in the area. She likes to hunt and spend time outdoors. And she meets a young man who works with the local fire department, but he's thinking about leaving the Amish faith. So Martha has to decide what route she's going to take. Is she going to follow in his footsteps, or is she going to do something different? And in the third book, my granddaughter, Rochelle, wrote that. It's called Alma's Acceptance. And Alma is a young widow, and she has left her home in Kentucky and moved into her friend's home in PA, in Mifflin County, PA. And she is renewing a relationship with a young man that she knew when she was just a teenager. And Alma discovers something that she didn't know was going to happen, and it could put her relationship with Elias, that's his name, on hold.
Wow. Okay, you've got a brand new series debuting this fall in August that you've been working on. I'm just curious if you incorporated any parts of the pandemic into your next series.
No, I did not. That's kind of a difficult topic to touch on, I think. And the Amish view it quite differently than a lot of English people. I think it might be too controversial. So I've chosen to kind of stay away from that.
Okay.
And actually, some of my readers have told me they hope I don't write about it because they don't want to concentrate on that. We're living it. They figure that's bad enough. let's not read about it.
I am in agreement with your readers, but you know what's not controversial? Cooking and cookbooks. And you've also got a cookbook out, so just on top of all of your other great books.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Well,
this one's called the Healthy Options Cookbook. I think it's one of my favorites that I've done, and I've done many, because it does have so many healthy tips and healthy recipes. And I myself am kind of a health nut. I like to eat healthy. We take lots of supplements, and that's why my husband and I stay so well. We supplement our diet with many things to help strengthen our immune systems.
well, there you go, so that you can have lots of energy to continue writing all of your great novels.
Exactly.
Well, we wish you the best out there, and thank you so much for sharing your book with us here in Central Illinois. There's a look at Wanda's Facebook page where you can connect with her and learn more about her books and her upcoming series, as well as the cookbook, and we'll be happy to share all of that information on our website, ciliving.tv. Wanda, thank you so much for being with us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for helping me.